Hello, everybody. This is Alexey Kovyazin, president of Firebird Foundation. And together we, with Edson Gregorio, CEO of MQFS, continue the discussion of migration to Firebird 5. Hello, Edson. How are you?
Hello, Alexey. It's a pleasure to be here again.
Yes, I think that some people can, be a bit tired of us speaking of migration. But I think this topic is really important because the migration is the only process which can bring your whole system, not only database, but application and performance and user experience to much higher level and with not so many efforts. Let's talk where we are after these two videos. So I guess if you follow the videos and you try to migrate your database and your applications, so you have applied data type compatibility, checked your application, how it works, and probably at this moment, your database is working. So it just works as it was in 2.5 or in 3.0, but it works on Firebird 5. And now we had a really hard choice. We need to decide what to do next.
So you have two basic choices that you have to do to discover if you are going to do one or another. For example, the first one is to do nothing, to start using your application in production, and as you need, you are going to change some procedures, some triggers, and maybe you are going to find some kind of errors. Mm-hmm. Or you can complete all the migration process and check everything you need to don't be worried about any kind of errors can happen on the future.
Okay, let's consider in details what each choice actually means for you. So let's see in details what will happen if you will choose do nothing. And today is Friday, so you can go to have a beer earlier and do not worry about your database because it works in compatibility work and will work normally until the moment when you will need to change something. For example, your boss will call you and say, okay, we need to change the procedure which makes the payment process. Do it now. And you are trying to change the procedure now. What will happen? Let's see. Yeah, so you can see what the procedure simply does not want to compile. And you need to fix the incompatibility in the source code of procedure to make it work, to apply further changes, let's say. Yeah, so we already demonstrated how to do the change in this situation. And so just change to local timestamp, for example. So in case of such easy changes, it is actually probably the best choice. So you have your database working. You can change only procedures or only objects like triggers, which you really need to change and when you really need to change. However, it is possible that the change in the real life will not be easy. And you can change the procedure and encounter errors which are not easily fixable, not easy to to make the procedure work in the new format, in the new with the new source from Firebird 5. Later, we will show you the example of the hidden problem inside a stored procedure, which can require a lot of work to fix, and which, of course, will be not suitable to do this work when the database is in production or you urgently need to apply some changes to the business logic.
So let's see some benefits of being with the complete migration process done. So you're not going to have any kind of bad surprises when you try to recompile some procedure or trigger or any kind of object. You are going to be 100% compatible with the version 5, talking about the BLR, and then it's going to be easier, much easier to migrate to the version 6 when it will be launched. So also, if you are at the version 5, maybe you want to use the profiler, and then for using this, you will need to have the BLR at the version 5.
I think we are all agree that it will be beneficial and it will be correct to complete the migration process of your database and become 100% compatible with version 5. And here we have a recommended process, how to do it. So let us show step by step how this process of completing the migration should be done, ideally, or even in some improved version of the process. But I would like to emphasize that this migration, this final steps, polishing of the migration, creating the ideal version, it is not a one-time effort. It can require several days, weeks, or even months if you are not making a lot of efforts, because you probably have other job, other work, other tasks to do. But it will be possible to organize these final steps in the way which will be normal to work already at 5.5 and receive all its benefits, but also fix remaining issues with the final goal to remove data type compatibility and all compatibility options in the end of this long process. So let's see how it should be done.
So here we have our database at the version 5, but it was done on the backup and restore. We did not recompile it yet. So we are going to do it now. How? We can use the I_SQL and -x to extract metadata in the path of the database. And then we need to put here the localhost /3050 the path to the database. And in the end, we need to put the authentication -user sysdba -password master key. We extracted it, but we need to put that file. So we need to use the same command, adding the -o and the path to the file that is going to receive the metadata. So meta.txt. Okay, now we have our metadata and we can see it here. So at this part of the script, we need to put some parameters here, like set bail on to stop at each error. And here we need to create the database and uncomment this, put the right string connection, put a new name here, like new, and then at the page size, the full char set. Okay, we need to erase this and put the authentication to user sysdba, like this, and password master key. Save it, and at the end we can put the commit. Next step is to create the database with this metadata to see if it's everything okay. So we can get this metadata, the path of it, and put here I_SQL -i and paste the path to the script. So we can just run it. Okay, here we have the first error. So let's go to the line 124. And then here we have the beginning of the procedure, which is with a problem. We do not have name specified at the column. So this is because of the cursor we have here at the end of this text. And then here we have, let me just maximize. We have here calc, and we do not and we do not have an alias. So we can put here the Qt, okay, and save it. This is already solved. We need to run it again, but we need to delete this new database. Okay, and let's run and see what's next. So here we have another line. Let's go to this line. And then we have the problem. What's the problem here? We can see exactly what happened. And then there's no column name specified here, but a column unknown. And then we can see why is this column unknown. So we have here a mix of two kinds of joins. We cannot have this kind of joins together, so we need to change this to a common join, explicit join, get a condition and put it there at the side of the table here. So it's solved. We need to go to the next. I saved it, and then we need to erase this database and run it again. Okay, now we have another kind of error. So let's see what happened here at this line.
Yeah,
okay,
you put...
it's missing the on clause. Okay, let's do it again. Erase it. Okay, now the database is compiled, but we have one more thing to see here. So we do not have any problems after the compilation. We got to create the database, but we need to see another thing, like the use of current timestamp. So let's find it, current time. And then we can say that we are using current timestamp, but it's going to deliver me a time zone also. But I don't want time zone, I want local time. So we need to change this from current time to local time. So let's replace it. Okay, and now our metadata is almost ready. There are more things we need to see here, like a very special kind of error that's not going to be shown at this step.
Okay, so at that moment, after series of I2L x I2L minus I executions, we have made the script of the database fully compatible with Firebird 5. And now we can create with this script the new database. But of course, our goal is to update our existing database. So in order to do this, we need to get all changed objects from the script of the new database and create the fixed script, alter script, which will be applied to the production database. Let's see how to do it.
At this script, we need to find where are the procedure bodies. So let's find it here, procedure, like alter procedure. Okay, let's find the bodies. It starts here. Let's copy all of them, all procedures, and just a little bit more here. Okay, and create a new script called fix. So let's name it like fix.sql, save it. Okay.
Right. But however, at this moment, the very big mistake will be to apply this script to the production database, not to the copy of production database, but directly to the production. And let us show why it is a bad idea. So in order to demonstrate the problem, let's do the following. First, let's open the database in compatibility mode, which will just back up and restore it, and it is running in with data type compatibility options. So we open it and let's do the storage procedure and see how it works. Just as an example. Okay, you see it working. Very nice. Now let's apply to the production database, for our test production database, the script which we created, a fix SQL, which actually contains all changes necessary to align database to the Firebird 5 Firebird.
So before running it, we can put here the connection clause like connect localhost /3050 double dot. Let me find the path of the production database. Paste it here. Remove the double quotes and put at the beginning. Okay, so authentication, user, sysdba, password, master key. And at the end, put in the commit clause with the term we set at the beginning. Set term. Okay. Now it's ready to run, and we can go to the prompt and run it. Okay, it updated all the database.
Now let's go to the database, disconnect and connect again to apply it to see the changes in the metadata. And let's try to execute exactly the same procedure. Opa, it gave error. And you can see it gave pretty strange error, conversion error from string 0. Let's see why it happened. Here in this procedure, you can see domain called Boolean. And as you remember, Boolean appeared in Firebird 3. Before that, in this database, the Boolean was created manually in 2.5 as a small int. Oh, please show it in the script, Edson. Oh, it's right here, line 14. You can see that there is a Boolean in double quotes, which is actually a small int. But when we have created the script with the Boolean in the text without double quotes, the Firebird created the real Boolean field, real Boolean variable in this procedure. So as a workaround for such situation, we need to change Boolean to small int. Of course, could be better option to create other domain and change it, but as a fast workaround, let's return to the script and change all appearance of Boolean, old Boolean, to the small int, which to correspond the actual data stored in the database. Okay, so in this case, databases, it's only few places where this domain was used. Now let's apply this again to the production. Reconnect to the database. And let's try to execute it. Yeah, so it was changed. You see it, small int. Let's try execute it now. And it worked. Such a relief. Of course, it was just a demonstration. What can happen if you will start to change the metadata in the production database? There are several pitfalls, like domains based on keywords like Boolean, or also usage of other keywords. And of course, this is what you really don't want to experience, especially on the production database. So the recommendation is the following. The correct migration process, or correct fixing, requires not only creation of the script, which will create the pure version 5 database as a result, but also the script which will be checked against such situations. And of course, the best checking in this case will be to run your applications with the database, with the copy of production databases which were updated by the fix script, and only after that, after testing with this database with real-world application, you can go and apply it to the real production. In order to catch all errors, as we described it in the previous video, the good idea will be to use trace with parameter log errors set to true. So we have discussed the manual approach, how to migrate the database to the state when it will be 100% compatible with Firebird 5. You can easily notice that this approach suffers from several disadvantages. First of all, it requires only sequential changes. So you need to fix one error at a time. Because if you will not fix the one error, and there is a dependency between storage procedures, it will mean that the one storage procedure will fail, and all dependencies will also give error. And it will not give you a good understanding about required time and efforts to complete the migration. If you have only 5 storage procedures, like in this small test database, of course, it's not a problem. But if you have 5,000 storage procedures, it will be like a nightmare to do not see when this process will end. Will you require to change all 5,000 storage procedures, or there is only 50 of them which require changes? And also, this sequential nature of this approach require that you need to assign only a limited workforce, like one developer to do the changes. But if you have a really big database, the good idea will be to assign more developers to do the changes in parallel. But if they are in the queue, one error, after that another error, and so on, of course it makes the situation, the whole process much longer. And of course, in order to automate this process, all these backup, restore, remove, add, modify script, write script, run it again, see error, repeat, there should be a solution. And of course, there is a solution. It is called a migration framework. Migration framework is a paid tool, but it includes the trial version, which allows you to perform the one successful migration. It means that you can install it and perform all the migration process with subsequent backup and restores, subsequent applications of the script in the automated way as many times as it will require to reach the state when the database will be totally compatible with Firebird 5, totally recompiled, and you will see the positive results. I really recommend you to take a look on this tool, download it, run, and even at the first run, you will receive the overview of objects and their states. So you will see the number of objects, how many of them have error, and how many of them are okay. And it will, even this first step will give you the idea how many times, how much time do you need to dedicate to the migration, to finalize the migration. And also, of course, this migration framework does automation. So it actually changes the sources to fix some simple errors like suspend and so on. It's really easy to work. I think, Edson, can you please show it?
Yes. So to download it, you can come to this link, and then you can click on download and really run it. At the first run, maybe you are going to need to keep it and run anyway. So before running it, we can see here that we have a user guide in English. It says you everything you need to know to start migrating. So let's install it, and I can bring it here, put in English. Let's go to the easy installation. Next, you can say here the path. I'm going to put that D. Next, install. So let's just wait a little bit. And then I can get the database I want to migrate, like this, for example. I can put it at the path of the migrate. So D migrate and in. Here you need to put your database at the old version, and at the out path you are going to get the new version of your database. And how can you configure it? So we have here a conf, and then you can put here the version in and version out. So 2.5, for example, without dot. Can put here some parameters, but now I don't need to change anything because of my kind of database. Only the share set, I need to put here the UTF-8. So saved it, and then I can run the application and see the result. It's going to make the backup and restore, and it's going to recompile everything. But firstly, we need to register this application. So the first register is free. You just need to answer some questions, and I want to answer that it's going to get my email. Okay. So in this question, if you still do not have your register key, you need to answer no here, because it's going to send you a new key at your email, and then you can put it here at the next run. So I already have done this. I'm going to put my key here. Okay, and then it's already starting the migration of my database. It's going to read it, it's going to make the backup and restore, and after recompile everything, changing everything it can change. So the end here, we have the error, because there's a lot of errors at this database. We already showed it to you, and then we can just close it, see report, the log, and then we can see here that some procedures we have some error, and a lot of other procedures or objects we have some kind of automatic fix like this. So we have 5 which need to be fixed, but 2 of them is already fixed automatically. And we can see here above, we have here the objects that were considered by the migration tool, and then we have here the result, if it was compiled successfully or not. And then we can see here the beginning of the error that we got, and we can treat it, but all of the errors are listed here. And also we can look for the error keyword, and then we are going to find each kind of error we found here at this run. In the end of this report, of this log, we have also here some numbers. For example, 3 kind of numbers. The first one is everything you have of procedures at your database. We have 7 here. 7 was analyzed by the application, and only 4 was with a good result, was recompiled successfully. So we have an error here. Here we have some triggers, 4 triggers, 4 was analyzed and 4 was recompiled successfully. So nothing to do here. Once I discovered all the errors I have, I can make the fix script, and then I can get it here, because we already did it at this path, and put the fix script here at the path scripts, pause, and paste it here. But before we put this script like the way we run at iSQL, we need to change something here, like remove the connection string because it's not necessary anymore, and put it like this. Okay, and then we need to keep the set term, and at the end we can leave it this way with the commit clause and save it, and let's run to see what's going to happen with this database. Let's run it. Wait a little bit. After the restore process, it's going to run that script, and after running the script, it's going to recompile everything. Okay, now we have success. Our database is totally migrated.
And in the report, we have all good, right?
Yes. Let's see the report here at the log. At the end of the log, we can see here that now everything was compiled, everything okay, no problem. This is success, total success. Okay, now your database. If you got success here, you can get your database at the alt path OK. This is a path that only good databases come. If you do not have success, it's going to keep here.
Okay, great. I think it's really easy to use, and it's worth to use such a great tool with the large trial or, let us say, freemium capabilities to speed up migration. We have made these 3 videos to demonstrate you the actual practical path of the migrations. Of course, probably we have missed something, but not much, definitely not much. If you started to see the first video, follow the problem described in the second video, and take a look here in the third video, how to tackle the problems, how to solve them. Probably, I think with 90% of probability, you are having the database in Firebird 5 format. But of course, I think that many of you have questions, and to discuss the videos, to answer your questions, we decided to do the live webinar at September 9, 2024 at 15 hours Central European time. We will send the link a bit later. It will appear also in the description of the video. And also will be on the site of Firebird SQL. So please mark the time now and join us at Monday, 15 o'clock to discuss, to ask all your questions and discuss the migration. Of course, there will be the recording, which will be available on YouTube after that. So thank you, Edson, for participation. It is actually an experiment. I don't know how people, how viewers and users of Firebird will like or not like this format of presenting the things. I hope they will like, but let's see. See you soon.
Thank you, Alexey. Thank you, Alexey. I'm always ready to present something with you.
Thank you, Edson. Bye.